Okay, so let's go over the materials that we're going to need for the project that we're doing today. We are making this cute little Easter sign. And what you need for this, I'm using my Cricut Joy Xtra, but you can use any of the Cricut machines. We have a light grip and a standard grip mat. We've got different colors of cardstock. I'm using Barely Art Precision craft glue. Your weeding tools, you need a brayer. I've got 2 different sizes of the foam squares, and I have some foam tape. Small piece of black HTV. I've got a small Teflon sheet that I've cut down so it fits my project better. The Easy Press Mini and the heat resistant mat for your Easy Press. But I think that's it, so let's go ahead and get started, and I'll show you how to set it up in Design Space, and then we'll put it all together. So here we are in Design Space. We brought in our SVG, and this is what it looks like when it lands on your screen. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and ungroup this, and I'm going to show you how you can arrange this and cut it so we can put it together so that you have a completed project. Now this is your easel down here. This is the design. It's very simple. It's just something I threw together so that you can use it with your Easter project. You can cut this out of whatever color you want. You don't need to change anything because these are actually cut lines instead of score lines, so this is all going to cut together like this. And I have it sized so that it will fit the project, but you can make it smaller if you want to. You could make it larger if you wanted to. But I left it this way so that the top part wouldn't show on the top part of the design. So I'm just going to go ahead and hide this for right now. And I want to ungroup this. And you will see the background right now for the word Easter, I have gray just so you can see it better on the design, but I am going to change that to white. So I'm going to ungroup this. And that back layer, the gray, I'm going to come up here and I'm just going to change that to white. So all of those pieces are going to be cut out of cardstock. The only thing that's going to be cut out of HTV is the word blessings. And everything else is ready to go. They're all going to be cut individually, but I'm going to show you how you can move your letters all into one mat so it's easier and faster to cut. So first thing I'm going to do is I want to save this. Just going to put Easter on there. And let's go ahead and click Make. Make sure you have the correct machine selected. I am using my Cricut Joy Xtra, but you can use any of the Cricut machines. So I'm going to click Make. So this is how it's laid out on the cutting mats. This is the HTV, so we're going to flip this. You need to go ahead and click Mirror, so make sure that that's going to be flipped in your design. And we probably will cut that first just to get it out of the way, and then we'll come back and we'll do all the cardstock. But I will also show you, if you look at the size of your letters, if you cut a square that's 2 by 4, that's going to be the size that you need pretty much for all of your letters. So I went through with my paper cutter and just went through and cut all the sizes that I needed so that I could arrange all of my letters onto one mat. And the way that I do that, I've done this in previous tutorials, so if you've not seen this before, this is a really good thing to help speed up your process. If you have seen it, fast forward through this part, you don't really need to see it again. But I just go ahead and put my design right here, and while I have my mat in front of me, my cutting mat, I will cut out the square that I need, like I said, 2 by 4, and put my orange piece here. And then I'll come over here and I'm going to move this. We can move it right about here. And remember that this is going to be yellow. Move object. And then this is going to be your yellow square. And then we do the same thing with all of them. We go through all of these and I just move them. The reason I move them first is if you don't move them, and then when you go to put it on your different mat, it's going to land on top of it, which isn't a big deal. You can still move it, but I like moving them ahead of time. Okay, and then you just keep in mind where you have each letter and what color you choose for them to be, and that's this color square that you're going to put on your mat. And I do that for all of my different letters. Whatever I can get on one mat, that's what I do. It's just easier for me, it speeds up the process. But I'm going to go ahead and cut all of my cardstock is going to be cut on medium cardstock. That's what I'm going to cut my cardstock on. And my HTV, I'm going to be cutting on Everyday Iron-On. Now when I get to the easel part, I am using a heavier cardstock. I'm not really sure what the weight is. I think it might be 80. I'm not really sure. It's just something that I had on hand, so it of course wasn't in a package, so I don't remember. But for my heavier cardstock, I'm going to use this heavy cardstock. If you don't have these up here, these are just things that I use quite often with my machine, so I have them bookmarked. but you can go to Browse All Materials and then type in whatever you're using. And then your options will come up and you can click from there. You can bookmark it if you want to, but that's how you get your bookmarks to show. So we're going to go ahead and get this cut out and I will show you how to put it all together. All right, we have our standard grip mat and this is the HTV. There are two sides. You see, one is really shiny. The shiny side is what goes down. Cut this down a little bit. And I'm going to use my brayer. This is being cut on everyday iron-on. I'm going to go ahead and feed it in. And with the Cricut Joy Xtra, what it does is it will read to make sure that your mat is lined up. And once it comes back out, it'll let you know. You will walk over to your machine, your computer or your phone, wherever you have it, and click go so that it can cut this out. Once it's done cutting, you hit your unload button on your computer screen on Cricut Design Space, and we take that out. And I'm going to go ahead and get my light grip mat out, and we're going to cut our cardstock. Okay, again, I'm going to be using my brayer to push my cardstock onto my mat so that it sticks better. We'll load that in, and we'll get all our cardstock cut. I like to turn my mat over and release my cardstock from my mat so that it doesn't rip and it doesn't curl. So here I have all my colors cut out like we showed you on the screen. All the different colors. Just make sure they're lined up where they need to be according to your Design Space screen. Okay, so this is the easel. We're just going to go ahead and fold this in half, get that ready and set it out of the way. It's going to stand just like that. Okay, let's go ahead and get our vinyl weeded here. Cut this down a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to turn my Easy Press on. This is just the Easy Press Mini. Go ahead and plug it in. And I'm just going to push it so that the one light comes on at the bottom. So while that is warming up, The rest of my stuff prepped here. All right, for the HTV, all we're going to do this is my Teflon sheet. I just cut it down so that it's smaller so it fits the area of what I'm working on here. And that noise that you heard was telling me that my press is ready to go. So I'm just going to go ahead and go over this just for a second just to get some of the moisture out, help it flatten it out a little bit more. Okay, and then I'm going to take my HTV and I'm going to line it up right on top of this. Right, and put your Teflon sheet on top of it again, and then just give it a press, maybe 10 to 20 seconds. Just go back and forth, go over it. Firm pressure. And then release your carrier sheet, just pull it up, just go slow so you can see it didn't stick all the way, so go back over it. Okay, and then pull your carrier sheet up slow. And there you go. All right, we can turn the press off because you don't need that anymore. Just go ahead and unplug it. Move that to the side. All right, now we're going to go ahead and assemble. Now, obviously you can use whatever colors you like. Got a little bit of residue from my mat, so everything's a little bit sticky. Okay, so for between this and this, I'm going to use foam tape. Just going to turn this over, and I'm just going to take this and stick it on the back. You can use as many as you like. Alright, I'm going to take my glue and I'm just going to put a little bit on the back of each one of these. This just helps with placement so that if you go to stick this down and it's not exactly where you want it, you have just a little bit of wiggle room so you can still move it. This step is not necessary. This is just something that I like to do because I can never seem to get my design where I want it on the first try. So I just put a little bit on the back of each sticky piece. And then we're going to flip this over and center it on this piece down here. That's down. And then I'm going to repeat the same thing for this one. All right. Now for the word Easter, this is going to go on here, and I'm going to use, I have some larger, the foam squares. I'm going to put that on the back, and that's what I'm going to use to stick that on here. This pack of dots that I got, or the foam squares, has assorted ones in here. So this is nice. It's got big ones and smaller ones in here. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and take these off. Okay, and now we're going to put the top pieces on. Now for the top, what I did was I used the smaller squares and of course the glue again, and we're just going to glue them right on top. So what do you prefer? Do you prefer the pastel colors for Easter, or do you like more of the bold colors? I think I like the pastel colors better. You could easily do this bottom, the Easter part that's white, you could do that in a more bold color if you wanted to. I like having designs where you can use your own personal color choices. And you all know have not been a big paper crafter. I am getting into it more now, and this is still my least favorite part, pulling off the backings of all these little squares here. Alright, now that those are all on, we're going to go ahead and put this part on. And for this I use the foam tape as well. And I'm going to see where I'm going to line it up here. So even though you put your tape on, it may not hit on all places, but I'm just going to go ahead and put it on anyway because you won't see it on the back. Okay, and we're going to line this up. And I'm going to go right about here. Don't have to worry about that glue because it'll dry clear. And push down so it hits all the right places. But that's it. And then we have our little easel. And it's going to sit right in there. Okay, but that's it for this week's project, guys. I hope you like it. If you make it, please come on over to the Facebook group and show it off, because you know I love seeing what you guys make. You can find this week's freebie in the freebie library. It is design number 190, along with the names of the fonts that I used and the links to where you can find them. But that's it, guys. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you.